Over 9.6 million Canadians are currently approaching retirement age, and nearly 70% of them say they simply cannot afford to retire where they live right now. But here is the question nobody is asking loudly enough. What if the retirement of your dreams, the peaceful mornings, the front porch, the community, the dignity, is not in Toronto or Vancouver, but somewhere most people have never even considered? In this video, we are going to do something different. We are not going to give you a glossy list of best places to retire. We are going to take you inside specific, real communities across Canada where retirees are living extraordinarily well, on budgets that would shock you. We will look at the history of these places, why they were built, what they were built for, because understanding a community's roots tells you everything about its character today. We will break down the actual numbers, housing costs, daily expenses, healthcare access, and we will show you, side by side, exactly what your retirement dollar buys in Canada's major cities versus what it buys somewhere else entirely. Stay with us, because if you are anywhere near retirement age and you have been told that comfortable retirement in Canada is out of reach, this video was made specifically for you. Canada has a reputation, and to be fair, it is partly earned. In 2024, the average home price in Toronto crossed $1.1 million. In Vancouver, it pushed past $1.2 million. Monthly rents for a two-bedroom apartment in these cities now routinely exceed $3,000. For retirees on fixed incomes, CPP, OAS, personal savings, those numbers are not just inconvenient. They are disqualifying. And so a false conclusion has taken root in the public imagination. That retiring in Canada means either sacrificing quality of life to afford it or compromising your finances to maintain it. That is the trap. That is the myth we are here to dismantle. Canada is the second largest country on Earth by total area, 9.98 million square kilometers. And yet, 80% of its population is crammed into the southernmost corridor, mostly in a handful of major urban centers. That concentration is exactly what drives prices up. Move 200 kilometers in almost any direction from those urban cores, and you enter a different economic reality entirely. The challenge is not that Canada is unaffordable. The challenge is that most people simply do not know where to look, and the mainstream retirement conversation has never made it easy to find out. 1. Moncton, New Brunswick. Moncton, New Brunswick. The name might not ring a bell, and that is precisely the point. Founded in the early 1700s by Acadian French settlers along the Petitcodiac River, a river famous for one of the world's most dramatic tidal bores, where seawater rushes in at speeds that once powered the entire local economy, Moncton has spent 3 centuries quietly building itself into one of the most livable small cities in North America. Today, it is Canada's only bilingual city at the municipal level, an English and French community by identity and by law. That cultural richness translates into excellent dining, arts, and a social fabric that many retirees describe as genuinely warm. The city has 2 universities, a major regional hospital, and some of the most accessible healthcare in Eastern Canada. The average home price in Moncton in 2024? Just under $300,000. You will not find that number in any major Canadian city. Not even close. 2. Thunder Bay, Ontario. Thunder Bay, Ontario, occupies one of the most dramatically beautiful locations of any mid-sized city in the country, perched on the northwestern shore of Lake Superior, the largest freshwater lake on the planet by surface area. On clear days, you can see the Sleeping Giant, a peninsula of ancient Precambrian rock that rises from the lake like a reclining figure. The Ojibwe people called it Nanabuju, and their legends about it predate European settlement by thousands of years. The city itself was formed in 1970 by the amalgamation of 2 rival towns, Fort William and Port Arthur, which had competed commercially since the mid-1800s as the competing gateways to the Canadian interior. That competitive history gave Thunder Bay a double downtown, an unusual layout that today means 2 distinct historic cores, each with its own character and amenities. For retirees who want nature access at a level that most Canadians only experience on vacation, Thunder Bay delivers that as an everyday reality. Hundreds of hiking trails, snowshoeing in winter, a massive cross-country skiing culture, and waterways that stretch beyond the horizon. 3. Summerside, Prince Edward Island. If Moncton is the bilingual heartbeat of the Maritimes and Thunder Bay is the great northern wilderness city, then Summerside, Prince Edward Island, is something else entirely, a place that operates at a frequency most modern cities have forgotten exists. Prince Edward Island is Canada's smallest province, 5,660 square kilometers, but it punches far above its weight in terms of cultural identity and quality of daily life. Summerside, incorporated in 1877, was built on two unlikely industries: wooden shipbuilding and silver fox fur farming. The fox fur trade, which peaked in the early 20th century, once made PI ranchers millionaires. Their stock was shipped to the courts of Europe. Today, the only remaining traces are the street names and the quiet pride of old money turned quiet heritage. What Summerside has instead is something harder to price: the College of Piping and Celtic Performing Arts, a living institution that keeps Scottish and Irish musical tradition alive on Canadian soil, world-class beaches within minutes of town, and a community where, as one retired schoolteacher told a local publication, quote, "People actually know your name at the grocery store. Let us talk about the actual numbers, because this is where things get uncomfortable and clarifying. Let that sink in." A retiree couple living on a combined CPP and OAS income of roughly $2,200 per month, a completely realistic scenario for millions of Canadians, would be financially underwater every single month in Toronto or Vancouver. The math simply does not work. In Moncton, that same couple is not just surviving, they are living comfortably with money left over for travel, for grandchildren's visits, for the things retirement is actually supposed to be about. The lifestyle premium that nobody talks about. Here is the angle that financial planners rarely discuss. It is not just about saving money. Moving to one of these communities does not mean downsizing your life. It often means upgrading it in the ways that matter most in retirement: space, quiet, natural beauty, human connection, and time. In Thunder Bay, retired couples regularly own 4-bedroom homes with large yards, garages, and direct access to hundreds of kilometers of hiking and skiing trails, for the price of a 1-bedroom condo deposit in Toronto. In Summerside, you can walk to the harbor. In Moncton, you can cross the country by rail from a station that still runs, which is increasingly rare in Canada. Statistics Canada's 2022 General Social Survey found that retirees living in non-metropolitan communities reported life satisfaction scores roughly 23% higher than their urban counterparts. Not marginally higher, significantly higher. And when researchers dug into why, the top 3 answers were more space, stronger community ties, and less financial stress. Canada is not uniformly expensive. It never has been. What it is large, vast in a way that is hard to fully absorb, and in that vastness it has hidden something remarkable. Communities that were built generations ago with real purpose, that survived economic shifts and changing times, and that today offer retirees something the major cities increasingly cannot: a genuinely good life at a genuinely manageable cost. Moncton was built where tides meet river, and 3 centuries later it is still a place of remarkable cultural energy and bilingual identity. Thunder Bay was built where 2 rival towns finally merged, and today it sits at the edge of the world's greatest freshwater sea, offering natural access that most of the world's wealthiest people cannot buy at any price. Summerside was built on ships and fox fur and island stubbornness, and today it is one of the quietest, most genuinely connected small cities in Canada. The retirement you have been imagining, the one with breathing room, with mornings that are actually quiet, with a community that knows you, with finances that allow you to live rather than just survive, that retirement exists in Canada. You just have to know where to look. Now we want to hear from you. Have you retired, or are you planning to retire? In a smaller Canadian community that most people overlook? Drop the name in the comments below. Chances are, someone watching this right now is looking for exactly the place you call home. And if you found this useful, if this changed even one assumption you had about retirement in Canada, subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of conversation we are building here every single week.